Welcome back, everybody, to this episode of Maximum Octane. Delighted to be here with you. I'm your host, Kim Hickey, my co-host, Jason Patel. We are still on location at Waikoloa Villages.
You got it again. Look at that.
I know. Took me a week to learn how to say it.
It's a hard one to say.
Oh, I know. I'm like, I just spell it out phonetically on my paper for the first.
And we might still be saying it wrong. So
there is that possibility. If we are, just put it in the comments, the phonetic spelling of it. So when we come back here again, I won't look as stupid. So there's that. So excited to have Carrie-Lynn Rodenberg here with us. And she is the CEO and founder of Turnkey Marketing. And one of the things that we've seen, it's been recurring in our episodes and sessions here, is our business owners, shop owners, or whatever business you're in, ability or inability to think about what do they need, figure it out, and not be just bogged down and frozen by, this is too overwhelming, I don't know where to start. And that the kind of paralysis by analysis is something that we see. And everybody's busy. Nobody has time for anything and to learn something completely new out of of all of that stuff. So that's something that's one of your superpowers, right? Is like helping people see, here's the big picture and here's the steps we take. So
yeah. We basically work with shop owners. We're like a director of marketing. Shop owner will say, hey, here's where we're at revenue wise. Here's where we're at car count wise. Here's where we want to be. And so then we put together the strategy, the budget, and then we say, all right, Mr. or Mrs. Shop owner, you go focus on the things that you're really good at. Focus on your superpowers. And then we're going to be like your director of marketing. So we're going to work with your website company. We're going to work with Kukui, or we're going to work with whoever you're using for your website. And we're going to work with your CRM software. And we manage all of that and make it like really custom, make it work for them. So it's not just like a one size fits all. It's what do we need to do to really get the results that you need? And then we're going to pay attention to those results and listen to phone calls and give you feedback. Because if you're paying for marketing, you want to make sure you're getting people into the shop, right? So we're really paying attention. If you think of like a regular manager, like a shop manager, shop owner is still super involved in their business, but there's certain aspects of the shop that shop manager is responsible for and is taking off the business owner's plate and saying, okay, you focus on these things, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner. I'm going to focus on these and manage all the people underneath me. Make sure, they're not out there turning wrenches necessarily, but they're managing service advisor, they're managing the technicians and getting the results that shop owner wants. And so that's what we do with marketing.
Kim, I think we found it. This is the DIFM.
DIFM?
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
Do it for me.
There we go. We found somebody. Woo! You actually knew that? Wow.
I just put it together.
There we go, right? So we found the do it for me solution. We were talking about this on a different podcast.
Yeah.
About there's not too many things out there that is a DIFM solution, right?
Yeah.
But this is, obviously there's still some legwork.
There's still a partnership with the shop owner, because every single shop owner is different. So what one person wants, what we're going to post on social media for them, one person might be like, I literally had this conversation one time with the shop owner who was like, we are a very refined, serious shop. We don't want anything funny or memes or silliness.
Wow. That's surprising.
Yeah. And we were like, okay.
They don't want anything engaging.
Yeah. And that's something that's interesting about like my thought philosophy and just, turnkey marketing is we always say like, we're not exactly yes men because we want to fight for what's good for the shop. There are too many companies that are like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. Just give me your money and we'll do that. But we're like, that's not going to work for you. Do these things that work. No one wants to just be, pat on the back, but then get poor results, but protect their ego. Well, people do want that, I guess. But we're out here like,
then you should be a rock star, not a shop owner.
Yeah, we want to fight for our industry. And you're a shop owner, you worked your butt off to get to where you are. Let's make it a little bit easier. Let's help you get to the next level in a way that's not going to tax your family. And it's not going to pull you away from your family more hours or, pull money away from your family more. Like, let's get real results so that you can go and live your life and live the American dream that we all want when we start a small business. But so soon becomes kind of that American nightmare,
So you bring up a good point, right? This is when we're talking as coaches to shop owners.
Yeah.
We're always mentioning you have to elevate, empower your people.
Yeah.
One approach that I like to really kind of set in their foundation is whoever you're putting in charge of something, they should be coming to you with solutions.
Yeah.
Right. So if there's a problem, they've identified the problem. Here are the 3 recommendations that we can make it better.
Yeah.
This is what I think the solution is.
Yes.
And this is what we should go with. Right. And what you mentioned is, as far as Turnkey goes, they are the director of marketing, right? You guys are talking about the goal, the vision of the business.
Yeah.
And you're coming with the solutions.
Yeah.
And this is what we can do to make that work.
Yes.
And I find this oftentimes business owners, they've worn all the hats.
Yeah.
So they feel like they know better. So they don't want to kind of take that input. And I like how you said, we're not yes men.
Yeah.
And this is where it's the harsh reality of it. You have to have the people in place that are going to do what's right for the business, not necessarily what's right for the F word as far as feelings.
Right. The feelings.
Exactly.
This feels normal. This feels like what I'm used to, even though what I'm doing isn't working, but it's comfortable and it's in my comfort zone. It's what I'm used to doing. So it kind of feel uncomfortable to try new things, whether that's in our shops or in life. You just have to get outside that comfort zone sometimes.
I wouldn't know about that.
Oh, I don't think Kim has
A
any
comfort
sort
zone.
of comfort zone. Well, I know for sure some of these pants are not comfortable.
They are comfortable.
There's no way with all those, like, what are those
Sequins.
called?
They're
They're
on
called
the-
sequins?
Yeah, but they're on the outside of my pants. They're not on the
I
inside.
gotcha. Yeah, I like to be comfortable. I'm a sweatpants kind of person.
They are comfortable. They are very comfortable.
What's
Or
the
else I
saying?
wouldn't
What
wear 'em.
beauty is not beauty is pain or something like that, right? That's,
Oh, I don't subscribe to that.
I don't
Okay,
If
know
it
what it
hurts,
is,
I don't
but
care. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not about that. If
There we
it
go.
hurts, I don't want any part of it. I don't care.
I guess
I wore heels to church on Sunday for like an hour and a half because I was doing the announcements at church.
Yeah.
And I came home and I was like, I'm going to throw these out. I'm just at the point where like heels look nice, but I just can't do it anymore.
And they're
I'm
not
with you.
functional and they're not efficient and they hurt. And I don't have any anymore. I have like a couple of wedges, but
Well, this is the same thing that happens in our shops,
mm.
right? We do it so many times where this is not the right way to do something,
Yeah.
and there's a better way to do it, but this is how it's always been done.
Yes.
So let's just keep at it, right? I mean, there's results there.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, heels, like, for example, some heels look good. They just might not be comfortable. I've never worn heels, so I don't know. But with that being said, you have to change it up.
Yeah.
Right. Even with heels, I'm sure there's been some kind of progression over the last 50 years.
Sadly there has not. Then that's
There's no like
problem.
slip-ins that you could put in to make it a little bit more comfortable.
There's just not really.
Looks like I found.
And
the
I
next
heard,
thing.
and I don't know if it's true that a man invented heels, and that's why they're
That
so
makes
because
sense.
For what?
a woman would for women to wear that
Why?
a woman wouldn't ever.
They wouldn't inflict that kind of torture.
Yeah, on themselves.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess we're not going to get into that too much because that
Yeah.
could be.
So we'll have to Google that later because
Yeah.
that's the rumor I heard. But you do have to get out of your comfort zone. And you mentioned about you help with budgeting, and that's
Yeah.
a big question. We just did a roundtable with Krista Oldenburg and John Miller, and
Yeah.
there's about marketing and branding and all of that. And the question always comes up is how much should I spend on marketing? And I don't want to say I hate, but I kind of hate when accountants give a thing, is 7% of your, sales or 12% of your sales, or there isn't a singular number or percentage because it depends on what you're trying to achieve, where you are in your business. Are you in a growth stage? Are you in an acceleration stage? Are you wanting to expand? You wanting to maintain? So how does someone determine their budget and kind of look at that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm totally with you. Like, it's so hard to say this is the exact number that every single shop should use
Right.
and never go above, never go below, because it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish, where you are in the life cycle of your business, and where you are physically in your location. We talk to shops all the time who are like, well, I have a buddy and he spends $0 on marketing and he's doing like $3 million out of a 3-bay shop. So can you do that for me? And I'm like, well, tell me about your shop. Like, tell me about that shop. Is it on a great location? Oh yeah, great location. Oh, okay. Has it been around for a while? Yeah, it's 3 generations, Okay, is he pretty involved in the community? Yeah, his grandfather was, his dad was, and now he was. And he's like a really, energetic personality that just attracts people. And I'm like, cool. Would you say that's your personality? No. I'm not like my buddy. Okay, so are you in like a great location? well, no, the rent was a lot cheaper. So I did an industrial park. So it's a destination, it's a destination to get there. Okay. So you've been around a long time. People know you. No, I don't really like doing that community stuff. Okay. So there's a huge difference here
Right.
that really affects if people know that you exist. And if you're the best shop in the world, but no one knows you exist, well, doesn't matter. Like the best burger place in the world here in Hawaii, I don't live here. So unless I see something that tells me this is the best burger place in Hawaii, I'm never going to know, no matter how much I want a really good burger. So the same thing is true with marketing and with their budget. So you really have to look at all those factors and think, okay, well, yeah, you might be saving some money being in that industrial park and being that destination shop. Well, guess what? You're going to have to spend more money than that guy who's spending a ton of money on rent, but not having to spend a lot of money on marketing because their shop is marketing for them, right? Because people are passing it by and seeing the name and branding and branding and branding. So it has to be, it's almost like a scale, like you have to balance it out. Okay, I'm paying less here in rent, but I might have to pay more here in marketing. I'm paying less with my time equity, my sweat equity, because I have little kids. I don't really have the time to be involved in the community right now. I want to focus on my family. Awesome. Don't spend your sweat equity there, but you're going to have to spend something somewhere. You're probably going to have to spend it more in marketing and have that do more of the heavy lifting for you.
I love that. And I love the word destination. And it's such a great marketing word because, and that's really at the end of the day, the crux of this is having the right image and somebody to help you put it. And so many times I hear people say, oh no, I'm in the back of a building behind it, whatever. And they just go on and on about a negative. And even when they're telling people on the phone, they're like, somebody's like, where are you? And I hear them and they're like, well, oh yeah, we're all the way at the end and back behind that. It's like
such a drag.
Right.
I might get murdered.
Oh no.
Whereas like here, have a destination. It's a destination shop. And you have to treat the business like that, right? And market it that way, that it is a drive, but it's a destination. There's gonna be something wonderful and magical when you get there.
I'm gonna make it worth it for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, take that a step further, right? It's no matter what happens in any situation, there's always a way to turn it around.
Yeah.
It's all about how you market it, right? All the worst tragedies or whatever has happened, somebody has profited off of it because they marketed it a different way.
They packaged it. It's
exactly
how they package it, basically.
Here's what's popping in my head because I just saw it last night. There was I just saw an ad for something, a ghost thing where like 5 people were murdered in a house and they're like selling tours. So they took, but I mean, seriously, when you think about that, they took something that maybe no one would ever want to go near or be scared of and turned it into a destination of here's an experience you're going to have.
See, and the key there is they figured out what people wanted.
Right.
That is the key that everyone misses in marketing. So when someone says, I've done everything with marketing and it just doesn't work for me or it just doesn't work for my shop, it's because they're dangling the wrong carrot. If you said, that house where people got murdered, here's a house where people got murdered.
Oh, nobody.
People would be like, what the heck?
Why'd you even buy that?
Yeah. Why are you like, don't come near me. That sounds right. But if you market it, you say the people who are going to be interested in this, we can sell a ghost tour. There are ghosts here. There is a market who's interested in it. And we're going to present that to these people because this is what they genuinely care about. So we're matching the right people with what's in it for them. It's not, hey, we have this house. People got murdered here and we're trying to pay the bills. So come on in. And it's really awesome. It's here's what you care about and what I'm going to give you.
Why do you think there's such a disconnect? Because I think for the most part, business owners and our shop owners understand when the service advisor is presenting the estimate to a customer, they have to understand their buying personality and they have to understand what the customer wants and what's important to them. But then when it comes to marketing, they lose it. And the other thing that I see happen a lot is businesses get in their own head and they think about what they want to see, what would make them go somewhere, what would they, and they have almost blinders on. And just because you like that doesn't mean everybody else does. And you can't put everything through the lens of this is what I would want. And I think we get confused because a lot of times we say, put yourself in the customer's shoes. Would you have liked to not get called, till the next day? And somehow we're merging that all together and we're just going to do what I like and I want.
You're putting the customer in your own shoes.
Right. Instead of being the opposite. What do you think causes that disconnect?
Yeah. Well, before we get to that, talking about the just
Murder house?
Not even that. The customer and what they want, right? This is an exercise I have a lot of the shops that I coach do is wherever you go, doesn't matter where you're at, as long as you don't have your shop branding on, I want you to ask, where do you take your car to get fixed? Or, something of that sort.
Yeah.
Obviously, you should still have your business cards with you. That way, when they don't answer your shop, you give them a referral, maybe give them some kind of a discount or whatnot.
Yeah.
And if they do answer that is your shop, same thing. But the people that don't, write down who they're mentioning.
Yeah.
And we got to see, what are these people doing that you're not?
That's a great idea.
Now, with that being said, it just goes right hand in hand with, how do we get that from our customer? How do we determine what does the customer want? So what do you guys do to kind of figure out that disconnect and where we're trying to market to?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I really rely on human psychology. So if you zoom out, people are people like you and me. So lots of times what it boils down to for a lot of shops is they care about the time they're going to be without their vehicle. People want convenience. You see it with Uber and DoorDash and all these different things. People want convenience, and they also don't want to feel dumb. No one wants to feel dumb, right? And so, there's all these shop owners, there's people, we're here in Hawaii, right? It costs a pretty penny to get to Hawaii. When you're here, it's like you get a burger and it's like $34.
Everybody is talking about the breakfast buffet.
$55. Oh my, but you don't know until you finish your buffet.
So why is everyone talking about it being $55?
Because they didn't feel the value.
Yeah.
Because it was expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Most people I've talked to have said it's really good. You have to do it at least once because it's really good, but it's $55 and I'll never do it again. So if you've paid thousands of dollars to come to Hawaii, you're paying near $1,000 a night to be here. You're doing all these excursions that are hundreds of dollars. Can you afford nice things? Yes. Yes. But everyone is still crying about the $55 breakfast. Can they afford it? Do they have enough wealth to get here and vacation on Hawaii? Yes. So is it that they can't afford a $55 breakfast? No, but it feels ridiculous. Even though everyone says it's really good, but it's really expensive. It feels ridiculous and no one wants to spend more money than they have to spend. Even if they are dropping $10,000 to be here for a week and they have plenty of money. I think one of the biggest lies that we believe, I truly, truly believe this, and people don't like to hear this. I think one of the biggest lies that we believe is that if people are not bottom feeders, they would never use a coupon or an irresistible offer or a discount. Let me tell you, my husband and I, we do okay. We both have a stack of coupons when we get pizzas on Tuesdays because Tuesday is 25% off.
Exactly.
25% off of $20 is not a lot of money. That's $5. It's not like we're, going to go on the next vacation to Hawaii because we've saved $5. We're still dropping $20 for a pizza pie, right? Mm-hmm. But we believe this and it's easier. It's more comfortable to believe that and to think, I'm so valuable that no one should ever want a discount from me because I do really good work and they should know that. So I'm going to market about how awesome I am and how long I've been around and the things that matter to me. Meanwhile, the reality is that people care about convenience and they care about money. People don't understand auto repair. If you think about a plumber who's saying, I am the best plumber in the area. I've been around for 25 years. You should use me. And he has a bunch of great Google reviews. But then you get something in the mail or you see a Facebook ad or you see a Google ad for another plumber who has great Google reviews too, but maybe they have a $25 off for the first time you come in coupon. You think, because it's not the world that we live in, you're like, well, my toilet bowl needs to be fixed. This one's $100. This one's $75. They both have great reviews. Who are you going to go with? The $75 one. Now, if the $75 one has terrible reviews, you're going to pay $100 and that's fine. But if you're just comparing, you're like, I don't understand how to compare these things very well because plumbing isn't the world I'm in. And, soccer moms like me, like all my girlfriends, how much auto repair knowledge do you think that they have? They don't. And they don't have the time. They have kids pulling on them and their phones ringing and work to do and food to make. They don't have the time or the mental energy to really think about, now, this person's been around 25 years. This person's only been around for 10, 20 years. Well, if they've been around for 5 years longer, they must be a lot greater value and I should probably trust them more. Like people don't have the mental capacity to put that together. They don't have the time, nor do they have the desire. So I think that just thinking about how humans act and interact is like the biggest key. What is important to people in general? What is important to your clients? People might say like, well, I have a really high-end shop or I do Euro vehicles and stuff. Everyone with a European car, think about how many people here have European cars probably back home. Probably a lot of people. How many of them are crying about the $55 breakfast? A lot of them.
All of them. I've heard
No
them.
one wants
I've
to-
heard it since Friday.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of want to speak to that, right? It's when people wonder, what did you actually study if you studied marketing at college or whatever, right?
Yeah.
This is exactly what we're talking about. It's the psychology perspective. It's not just voodoo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actual science, right? But at the end of the day, let's just look at it in your own communities.
Yeah.
Any gas station you go to, whatever price is on there, let's just say it's $2.79. It's not $2.79. It's $2.79 and 9 cents.
Yeah.
So it's $2.80. But the shop or the gas station across the street might be $2.84.
Yeah.
It's not $2.84, it's $2.85 really at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's all about psychology. Costco does the same thing. All of these businesses do the same thing. And they're playing with that to figure out how they can get that customer attention.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I don't like discounts, right? When I'm coaching shops, we don't do discounts because it affects your margin. This is why we don't do discounts. But that's not to say that you can't do discounts or specials. You have to make sure you're playing with the psychological aspect of this.
Yeah.
How do we make it so that it benefits us?
Yeah.
Every shop has some sort of a loss leader. And this is to help with marketing to bring that customer in.
Yeah.
There's shops that have very profitable oil changes, but then there's shops that have not profitable oil changes.
Yeah.
But for them, it works out because that's what they're using as their loss leader.
Yes.
So what do you guys do as far as with the recommendation for discounts and stuff like that for marketing? Are you guys looking into the loss leader or how are you guys kind of forming this?
Yeah. Yeah. So it can change a bit per shop, but we tend to work with like shops that are doing over $1 million. Well, we work with shops under $1 million too, but a lot of our shops are doing over $1 million a year. So they're doing really well and have high profit margins and are really sustainable. I would say don't be a discount shop, but give a discount. Does that make sense? Don't be a shop that's the lowest bottom of the barrel shop overall. But I mean, think about BMW. BMW always has their special sales event of the year. Think about Mercedes or think about really high-end clothing stores like Lululemon or Talbot's. They always are running a sale on something specific. So I don't think we work with like hundreds of shops and are looking at their numbers all the time and like their P&Ls and their budgets. And we see all the time that people will do, a special, like a lower, like a less profitable oil change. But wouldn't you rather make a little bit less money on an oil change? But then like the other day I took my BMW for a $65 oil change. Guess how much I left paying?
$700.
$2,200.
There we go.
$2,200 because they presented everything really well. And they're like, well, this is a safety thing. And I'm thinking, I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Am I really going to put that off? No, I need new tires and they're not cheap. So am I not going to pay that? No, I paid it. But what brought me in was a $65 oil change. There's something that brought me in. And I think that shop got a lower profit margin. To your point, Jason, they got a lower profit margin on that oil change for sure. But how many more dollars in the bank are in their bank account now because they dangled a carrot for me and I grabbed it. And now it's the dollars in the bank that are going to feed their family.
I want to ask you a question about that oil change.
Yeah.
Was it whatever you saw the discount or whatever?
Yeah.
Was it geared towards BMW in specific?
It was a European oil change.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's the biggest thing right here, right?
Yeah.
Is you can't just, I mean, you can give a blanket discount and there's shops that do that.
Yeah.
But there has to be some direction.
You have to have like, someone can, you can't do like a $35 oil change or something and have a BMW or a Mercedes come in. You have to have like a specific thing. So this was a European shop that only does European vehicles. It was for, it didn't say it on there like BMWs only.
Oh yeah.
But it was clear they work on European vehicles because it's a European car. So it said like European oil change. And then I called and I said, hey, I have an X5. Is this, valid? Because it's a really great price. And they're like, yeah. And they had great reviews. All the things that really built the trust. And I was like, cool, I'm going to take you up on this great discount. And they wound up making a really great customer.
So let's talk about that for a moment, because some people are going to be freaking out with this whole conversation, which is great because it sparks conversation, thought about it. Everything we do has to be with intent. And when we think where we get into trouble with using any kind of special or discount or anything is we don't know why we're doing it. We don't know what the cause and effect will be. And it's just, again, we're throwing spaghetti at the wall. And so when it's intent, something specific, I do love the veteran discounts. I do love those stuff, but that's like the only blanket sort of thing like that. But with all of the marketing and all of the things you do, you have to track it. You have to track it. And if you do offer something and it doesn't pan out or it doesn't get the results, or I love when it attracts the wrong kind of customer, you have to understand who you're going after, right?
Yeah.
And it has to be specific to that. So there's places for it. And what are you want? What is the end goal? And that's in everything we talk about all the time is the intent. And so often we're just doing reactive things. The phone's not ringing today. So we'll talk to somebody in marketing and throw out a $20 oil service. And it's like, what are you doing? But you also have to have your processes in place. So if you're going to whatever kind of special, like in Carrie-Lynn's example, the oil service, they were able to, I'm sure they did a DVI and, walk through the car and told you everything. If you do not have the process to back it up, it's going to be a lose-lose situation.
Yeah. If you're a bad, if you're not a good shop who has those processes in place, then don't do a cheap oil change because you're not going to convert them.
Right. And that's I think that's the missing piece a lot of shops don't understand, because they'll throw something out there and then they have a bunch of, just $20 oil changes or $65 ones because they don't understand
We are so busy
to win over the customer, to build that trust, to, have that consistency and to be able to upsell them. And that's what's crazy to me with any special or anything that businesses do. And then you go in to take advantage of that. And the people don't have any idea
why they're doing. Yeah. The whole point is to get them in and to give them an opportunity. It's like Costco. You mentioned Costco. Like Costco, are they making a lot of profit on the samples that they're giving you? It is costing them money to let you try their heavenly hunks, right? And then when they go on, then they have a sale. And guess how many heavenly hunk bags I bought when they were on sale the other day? I bought a ton. I saved $2, but I went to Costco and I bought a bunch. And then guess what? I also bought a million others.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going to go with this. You don't go to Costco without spending at least $200-$300 every time, right?
Yeah, I go and I'm like, I'm going to save $2, but I walk out with a $400 bill that I was not intending on doing.
But it's also all about the presentation, right?
Yeah.
They have all these products, whatever they present them in aisles and whatnot, right? It's presentation.
Yeah.
Which you were presented with the BMW, same thing. Presentation is what sold everything else. And what you were kind of mentioning with the whole discounting, and we at ATI, we've always talked about this. You shouldn't be putting out coupons and discounts and all of that. But the caveat is, if you're doing it with intent, it's okay because you already know how that's going to affect your margins.
Yeah.
You know the target customer.
Yeah.
You know who's eligible and who's not.
Yeah.
And you have all this stuff laid out. And I think that's where the director of marketing, as you mentioned earlier, really comes into play. This is stuff that you or Turnkey would be asking the shop.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I want to get more cars in the door. I want to do a discount or a special. These are the questions that the director would be asking. What are we trying to accomplish from here?
Yeah.
How do we track it?
Yeah.
What the heck is your process? Do you have? What
Exactly.
you have? You know, here's the other thing that makes discount sort of a dirty word. I think so many times a service advisor will be, oh, when somebody's like, I'm not sure, you know, I got to think about it, or I got to talk to my significant other, whatever, you know, I don't have time today. And they'll be like, whip out of the draw. I hate when I see it. Well, oh, I have a $50 coupon if you do it today. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's not to close the sale. It's to get people in the door.
It's not
Yeah.
to close the sale. And you have to know what you're looking for. And where also that helps is when you're introducing a new profit center to your shop, or something new that you didn't
Heavenly Hunks.
Heavenly Hunks. You didn't used to do Teslas. Now you're doing Teslas. So we're going to give an inspection, you know, at no charge a Tesla, or you know, those things to highlight. Here's a product or a product or service that you're not really selling a lot of or doing at the shop. But we always want to look at the margins for it. Does it make sense? How do we track it? And you brought up about the two people with the same amount of years in business and the same kind of Google reviews. One had a coupon, one didn't.
Yeah.
When we think about just marketing in general, when I read most shops things and we laugh about it, they're family owned, award winning,
25 years of business.
25 years of it, done right the first time, honest.
Honest is the biggest one. Honest and trustworthy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, so if I'm looking at that, I don't know where to go. So to Carrie-Lynn's point, if I see those 5 ads and they're all exactly the same and the same everything else, and there is a discount or some kind of special on one, I'm probably going to go to the one with the special.
Yeah.
But if you have something in your advertisement or your marketing campaign that's a differentiator, that sets you apart of somebody else, like that, we have to think about that too, right? What's going to make you stand out? And if you don't have anything to make you stand out, having some kind of special or coupon might be the only way. But you have to keep looking at that. And I challenge any of you to Google shops in your area and just write down what the taglines are and see how many times. And is there any other industry that feels the need to say, oh, we fix it right? Well, I hope so. That's why the hell I'm paying you $200 an hour.
That's the bare minimum right there.
Right.
But I mean, it's like, why do our food taste good? Or what is?
I think the restaurant industry has some of that too.
Oh, I know. That's what I just started thinking about, like our food, you know.
Well, I do want to talk about, I just did a roundtable on this. And the highlight was do what others aren't,
Right.
but also do what others are.
Yeah.
Because you can't just go the opposite way and then just forget about all the basic stuff.
Right.
Because now you're going to lose that whole target.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the balance. And like you mentioned earlier, we have to balance everything out.
We have our very own scales of justice.
Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just somebody in the middle with a magic wand.
Then we went back to magic wand.
Yes, we're gonna use magic wand.
There we
We
go.
like magic
I use
wand.
that. I talk about a magic wand all the time. I'm like, if you had a magic wand, how would you, what's the end result you'd want here?
That's
like,
Kim's favorite question.
hey, I like it.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It is. So
But I think if for a shop that's struggling with car count, I think, and maybe you guys disagree, but I think it would be, I think it's crazy to not offer a discount to increase car count. If your guys are standing around, I mean, and you have good salespeople. Now, if your salespeople suck and they're just going to do an oil change and be like, all right, you're out. Yeah.
You're going to lose money with the discount.
You're just going to lose money. And I think and maybe that's what you guys are saying. Like, I think that like not having that intentional like roadmap in your mind. Okay, this is the step 1 that gets them in the shop. I know I'm a good shop. So now I know once they're here, I'll convert them. Maybe this time they're just testing me out and they're not gonna pay the $2,200 on their car. But you know what? If I show them that I do have a differentiator and I'm going to treat them well and I'm going to give them that DVI and I'm going to show them and add that value, they're going to come back the next time, especially if you're following up with them and reminding them over and over of who you are and why you care about them. That's the reason to do a discount that will get someone in. That's the reason to have an irresistible offer on your marketing. And back to like marketing psychology, That's what makes marketing work. I mean, think about the big brands and the little brands. The ones that are really thriving are dangling a certain carrot to get people in, not because they're a bad company or they're cheap or anything like that, because they know that humans like me and you respond to that. And then you go in and you become a customer. And if you're a great shop, you shouldn't be afraid of doing a discount to get cars in your base.
Kind of sums it up in a sense, right? This is where you have to have everything else in place before you do something. Otherwise, you're just going to lose money. And that's all the discount's going to do for you.
Yeah.
So if you have all your policies, procedures, and good people at the front that know how to kind of convert this and present this, you're going to be in good hands. This is just a marketing discount. It's not a discount to close the sale.
Right.
It's a discount to get people in the door.
Right. And it's done with intent and there's a purpose and we have everything to back it up because even the stores that do it, they know once you walk in that door, you're
going to buy more things.
You're going to buy more things. And so we have to have that in place for sure. So
awesome.
This is a wonderful conversation. I thank you for that.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
This is Jason loves all the marketing.
Oh yeah.
I do too, but he really geeks out over it.
Yeah.
Marketing's my
with
favorite.
Cool. With you. So you must believe in irresistible offers. Then.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
But like I said, it has to have purpose.
Yeah.
There's no purpose behind it then.
Yeah. Or if your shop is booking out like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you're sending out an offer, it's like,
why are you doing that?
Why are you wasting money? Because people are gonna say, okay, yeah, let me think about that and give you a call back.
Exactly.
They're not gonna call you back.
For sure. Then we have the members that are like, I sent out this coupon to everybody, and the only people brought in were the ones we already have that come in regularly, and I lost. And I was like, and then I just think, well, why didn't you send it to them? But
Exactly.
that's a whole other episode. So
we
with intent, with a purpose, and just make sure you have a purpose in the processes, right? Because that's the end of the day. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys.
Everybody out there, stay safe and make good choices. And we will be back more from here on location. So super excited about that.
Do what others aren't and also do what others are.
Love it.
Clear as mud.
There we go.
There's mud that was.